to do today is we're going to take a look at an article, and we're going to do some critical reading and give you some strategies that you can use when you're reading to help you weed through some of the stuff that doesn't matter and get to the good stuff in the article so that you get what you need out of it. We're going to start by looking in your email so that you can see what we're doing here. All right, you got an email that was called Critical Reading 1. Now, first of all, make sure you click your read receipt. And then second of all, right down here, it gives you the instructions. It says save the file to your OneDrive. And if you look right underneath the article, it says save to OneDrive. So we're going to click on that. And it says it's saved. Now his, again, saves to email attachments 1. Yours is probably going to save to email attachments. And then it says go to your OneDrive to open the file. Remember that it will be in a folder called email attachments. Edit the file in Word Online or in your browser. So I'm going to go over here to my OneDrive, and I'm going to look in the file called email attachments 1, and I'm looking for this document right here. So I'm going to click on it. Now, it looks like it just opened up in here, which is fine. Sometimes you have to tell it that you want to edit in Word Online or in your browser, but this time it looks like it just opened up in here. Now, we're going to leave this toolbar open right here so that we can see the things that we need. The first thing we're going to do is we're just going to kind of glance over the article. You're not really going to read it for any detail. You're just going to kind of look and see where the paragraphs are. See if there's anything in bold print. I don't think I put anything in bold print on this one. Then we've got, well, there's some bold print down here, but these look like they're just extra information. So let's go back to the top of our article. Our article today is Teens Job Search Can Help Build Adult Skills. And this is something that's important in all of my classes, whether it's dollars and cents, interpersonal relationships, or digital interactive media. Learning how to find a job and to communicate professionally is important no matter which of those classes that you're in. It matters. Now what we're going to do first is we're going to go through here and we're going to number our paragraphs. So I'm going to bring the cursor down here. The cursor is the little flashy thing. And everywhere there's an indentation, I'm going to put a number. So I'm going to start with 1 right here, and then I'm going to put a couple of spaces after it so it's still indented. Then I'm going to go down to the next one. I'm going to put a 2, and then I'm going to put a couple of spaces. So I want you to start numbering your paragraphs. This would be 3. Notice it's set up in like question and answer format, but we need to be able to refer to different paragraphs to help us when we're talking about it so that we know where each other is. So this is 4. This one is 5. This one is 6. Now, down here where it says, here's how your son might display these skills, we're going to put the cursor right in front of it. Everybody watch. We're going to put the cursor right in front of that, and we're going to hit enter one time because technically it was on a different page, and it's not indented, but that's going to be paragraph number 7. And then communication, even though it's not indented, it's like a list on here, that's going to be paragraph number 8. Does everybody see what I'm doing? And then this one is social skills is number 9. Self-control is number 10. Higher order thinking is number 11. Positive self-concept is number 12. And then right here where it says the response, again, that one is not indented. I'm not sure why it didn't do that, but that's number 13 right there. So we have 13 paragraphs when you're done with this. I'm going to give you just a minute to make sure that you have those 13 paragraphs and that we're all in the same place. All right, after you have those paragraphs numbered, I want you to go back to the top. I want you to find your number 1, and I want you to just highlight the number. not any of the spaces after it, just the number, and I want you to pick a color for your paragraph numbers to be. So I'm going to make all of my paragraph numbers yellow so that I can see them. So highlight those numbers, and this is really cool because you can do this very easily on your document. Just make sure you highlight all of your numbers the same color. Make sure it's just the number and not the text, because the text, when we highlight and mark it, we're going to do it with a different color. All right, you guys almost done? Getting them highlighted? All right, click faster. Click and drag, turn them yellow. All right, I'm going to wait for you here to get that done. All right, we are going back to our article. Okay, at this point, you should have all of your paragraphs numbered, and your numbers should be highlighted. You have 13 paragraphs. Now remember that the ones at the bottom were not indented already, so you put your number there in a couple of spaces and you'll see them indented. But we're going to start by looking at a reading prompt that goes with this. Now everybody pay attention up here. I'm going to go over it with you. It says, in the article, Teens Job Search Can Help Build Adult Skills, Carla L. Miller discusses some possible reasons why teenagers might be having difficulties finding jobs. She also offers some advice to help make them more marketable. As you read, circle names of experts cited throughout the article, along with characteristics of career readiness, and underline facts and examples the author uses to support her claim. In the left margin, explain how each particular example supports the author's point. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at this article, and we're going to read it for some of these things. Let's go over the reading prompt up here. Everybody just pay attention up here for a minute, and let's go over the reading prompt. It says that she discusses possible reasons why teenagers might be having difficulties finding jobs. So this right here might be the main idea of the article, because she's talking about reasons why teenagers might be having difficulties finding jobs. She also offers some advice to help make them more marketable. So here's another purpose of her writing. So she offers some advice to help make them more marketable. Now, these are instructions right here. It says, as you read, circle names of experts cited throughout the article. So I'm going to highlight that for you. It says circle names of experts. And let's make that a different color. Let's make that green, because that's kind of an instruction that you need to follow. Along with characteristics of character readiness. So we're going to circle those things as well. We may not circle them because I would rather you underline or italicize or something like that and highlight. We're going to adapt that just a little bit since we're doing this on the computer and not on paper. And then it says underline facts and examples that the author uses to support her claim. So that's 3 things that we're going to be looking for in here. And then it says in the left margin, explain how each particular example supports the author's point of view. So we're going to explain how each thing supports the point of view. So let's go back to our article, and we're going to start with circling the names of experts. So let's go back. Here's our article. And we're going to start right here in the first paragraph, and we're just kind of going to glance through it Do we see any names in there? How about paragraph 2? Do we see any names in paragraph 2? How about paragraph 3? Okay, I see a name in there. It's not necessarily a person's name, but I see a couple of different things in here. What about this right here? Bethesda Research Nonprofit Child Trends. That's the name of a group that she's citing in here. So let's, I don't know, what do you want to do? Do you want to underline it? Do you want to highlight it in a different color? What do you want to do with that? Because we're not going to be able to circle it. What kind of signal would you like to have for that? Highlighted in a special color maybe? Okay, so, well, we turned all of our instructions in here on our document. We made them green because green is kind of for go and do this, you know. So why don't we highlight that name right there in green, because that's one of our instructions. So we're going to click up here and turn it green. And then we've got child trends again right here. Anytime you see child trends. And then it talks about a specific person there. Who does it talk about? What's his name in that paragraph? David Murphy. So let's make him green as well. All right, let's look in paragraph 4. Any more names in there? No? Any names in 5? How about paragraph 6? Any names in there? Kristen Anderson Moore, right? Okay, so we're going to highlight her name. And we're going to turn her name green. And then it tells where she's from, so we're going to highlight that child trends again, because it looks like she's citing the child trends studies or people that work there. She's citing them quite a bit. All right, 7, I don't see any names. How about 8? 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, I don't see any more names. So we've gone through and we've highlighted all the names, right? What was our next instruction? What are the other things we're supposed to highlight? Look up here in your reading prompt. What are we supposed to highlight? We did the names. What's next? Characteristics of career readiness. Okay, so let's go back to our article. All right. Characteristics of career readiness. All right. What I want you to do now is I want you to read through this one paragraph at a time. And as you read through it, if you see something that might be a characteristic of career readiness, and career readiness would be how ready are you to assume a job and to do the job that they're asking you to do. You know, what is your skill level at? What are some things that you need to know how to do a job well? So I want you to read through this one paragraph at a time. And if you see a characteristic of career readiness, what color would you like for those to be? Do you want those to be green, or do you want those to be a different color so you know you're looking at something different? Different color? Okay. So what color do you think we might want to make the characteristics of career readiness? And I'll change that on here for you. What color do you think? How about, I don't know, how about pink, just because I like pink? Okay, cool. Yay for pink. Okay, so I want you to read through that article, and if you find something that is a characteristic of career readiness, then I want you to highlight it in pink. And I'll give you just an example right here. She's asking this question, or a mom is asking this question about her son, And then right here in paragraph 3, she starts giving her answers. She says, polite, well-spoken, and clean cut are a good start. Is that a career readiness thing? Does that make him a little more job ready?
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to highlight that. We're going to make that our first example. Polite, well-spoken, and clean cut. And we're going to highlight that in pink. Now, continue reading through the article and find anything that has to do with career readiness and highlight it in pink. I'm going to pause the video while you do that. All right, let's check and see what you have highlighted. If you'll look up here at the front, I have some things highlighted for you in pink that I thought were good career ready skills. We already highlighted together the polite, well-spoken, and clean cut. As we scroll down in the article, in paragraph 6, it says soft skills, and this is a term that they apply to different things in the job market concerning, right here, communication, social skills, self-control, higher order thinking, and positive self-concept. This says self-awareness, not just self-esteem. And then down here in these other paragraphs, those words appear again. Did anyone highlight something else that they thought had to do with career-ready skills? Did anybody find something other than those things? Something different that we might want to look at? No? Anybody want to challenge any of those? Or do those all look like career-ready skills? All right, well, it looks like we might have all of those there, and it looks like you guys seem to agree because nobody's challenging anything, so that's all right. Let's look at our instructions again. All right, so we found the characteristics of career readiness, and now it says underline facts and examples. So underlining is something that we can do, but we can also highlight it after we underline it if you want to. So I'm going to tell you to go back, we're going to read through the article again, and we're going to find all the facts and examples that it gives, and we're going to click and drag over those, and then the underline is right here, the U. So let's see. Examples. We'll try to get to the first one. Let's look again at the instructions. Facts and examples. Okay. So right here in paragraph 3, there's a fact right there at the beginning. Let's see, 1, 2. In the second sentence, there's a fact there. What is the fact that they give us there that we should probably underline? Do what? What about 18%? 18% doesn't tell us a whole lot. What do we need to underline? Okay, so how about this right here? The number of high school students with jobs has dropped from peaks of 35% in the late 1990s to about 18% in 2015. All right, so that is a fact right there that they're citing in here. So we are going to underline that. And if you would like to highlight it in a different color, feel free to do so. Let's see. You know what? We haven't used that light blue color, and I think that'll be easier to read. So we're going to use that color for it. Okay? There. All right. So what else is a fact or an example? And there's some more in that paragraph 3. What do you think is important in that last sentence in paragraph 3? Okay, that is important. You're right. What else? There's two parts of that. He says to impart to one thing and then into another. What was the first thing he attributed it to? Automation and international competition, right? So let's underline it and highlight it. And then increased focus on academic pursuits. That's also really important. So we're going to underline that and we're going to highlight that. Now what I want you to do is I want you to read through the rest of the paragraphs, and anything that looks like a fact or an example, I want you to just highlight the important words in it, underline it, and then highlight it. I'll pause the video while you do that. Alright, we're going to go through some of the facts and examples that I found. Yours does not have to look exactly like this. You may have found things that you thought were more important. You may have looked at some of this and said it wasn't important. But we already did the one about the number of high school students with jobs has dropped from peaks of 35% to 18%. Further down in that paragraph, we talked about automation and international competition and increased focus on academic pursuits. So everybody should have that. In paragraph 4, that's just kind of a factual statement, or actually, I wouldn't even call it a factual statement. This was, she says, I suspect those, but it's kind of an important detail in there. It says, first two trends have also pushed unemployed adults willing to work for low wages at any hours exempt from youth labor restrictions into some of the jobs traditionally filled by teenagers. Paragraph 5, did anybody find any facts or examples in there? Paragraph 6. How about in paragraph 6? Did anybody find a fact or example in there? Which one did you think it was? Okay. Well, we had kind of highlighted those already. Yeah. There is something in there that might be considered a fact or an example. I like in here where it says the problem is that those kinds of things are not visible on the internet, and that was what was stated by Kristen Anderson Moore. All right, those kinds of things are not visible on the internet. So that might be important. All right, let's look at these paragraphs down here. When it talks about communication, you don't have to highlight the whole thing unless it's just really super short and specific. Phone ahead, arrange for in-person conversations. It talks about business cards are over the top, but a typed list of references would be okay. Then by social skills, it talks about working your existing connections. Paragraph 10, where it says self-control, that one is kind of one that you really have to highlight the whole thing. It says fight discouragement, keep busy, and keep looking ahead. Paragraph 11, identify employers and personal connections where he's most likely to succeed. That one kind of needed the whole sentence there. And then 12, a positive self-concept, develop and practice delivering a 30-second self-introduction. And it gives you some examples here. If you want to highlight the whole thing on that, you can. Paragraph 13 is just kind of summing it up, what her answer was and what her purpose was. But the last two lines in that, it says, building those soft skills muscles now will give your son a head start in the post-educational rat race. That's kind of an important detail there. Alright, we're going to stop the video at this point, and then we will do the last instruction, which is the, let's go back here for a second, where it says explain how each particular example supports the author's point. We will do that in a video later this afternoon or tomorrow. So we're going to stop where we are right now, and you need to make sure that you have your text marked with the names of experts, characteristics of career readiness, underline your facts and examples, And later on, we will do the last part where it says explain how each particular example supports the author's point.